All right, so in this video, I'm going to be explaining why you should be selling courses in 2026. And yes, I did already make a short form video about this, but I want to kind of go into further depth because this is a pretty important topic that has a lot of nuance to it. So first off, I've just got two images here, right? On the left, we've got I'd like to say the guru, scammer, course seller, okay? Someone who makes most of their money from, or if not all of their money from selling courses, not the actual business model that they promote. They usually flex a lot of lifestyle stuff, although not all of the time. And just in general, these people give courses, info products, mentorships a really bad name in the space because unfortunately there are more bad courses and bad mentorships in the space than there are good ones, which is kind of crazy to say. But that's also why it's so easy to shine through and have your mentorships sell really well if you actually put time and effort into them, because there is just so much garbage out there that if you make something good and you actually put time into it, you're just going to shine above the rest of the courses out there. And then as you can see on the right hand side here, I've got two people kind of high-fiving. I like to think of this as this is the mentor, that's the mentee, essentially, something like that, right? The whole point of that image is to signify that people who actually spend majority of their time working with people who buy their programs and make sure that they're getting good results will always be good in terms of making money from mentorships because they actually care about the outcome of the people who buy it, opposed to someone like this who doesn't really care about it. People who put time and effort into their mentorships and understand their ICP and really care about the end results for their mentees will always be better than people like this and will always sell more than people like this because ultimately they have a positive feedback loop for every single person who buys their info products. So going in depth into sort of how you can be more like this side and less like this side, we're going to get into that right now. So the first step on how to sell mentorships the right way moving into 2026 is finding your ICP through market research. So ICP just stands for Ideal Client Profile. If you're a coach or a content creator who's looking to set up a mentorship, you really need to know who you're selling to, okay? It can't just be the generic, oh, I'm in the e-com space, so I'm going to sell to people who want to start e-com. No, that's just not going to work because you need to be specific to your ICP. You have a personal brand. You've built that up over some time. So you have a specific type of customer who would be the perfect fit to buy your product. You need to find who that is, what the psychographics behind that person is, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, what the journey was for them to even eventually buy your program. So we cover all of this when we partner up with a client and build this out for them. We have multiple docs basically explaining who your ICP is, literally going in depth into creating a character of the ICP so you have a clear idea of, okay, who this type of ICP would be, and just really going in depth in that regard. And obviously I say through market research here because the best possible way to find your ICP is conducting market research, asking your audience questions about what their main pain points are, what stopped them from getting successful at XYZ niche, what they need help with predominantly, how much they'd be willing to pay for something like this in terms of mentorship. The list goes on and on of different questions you can ask, but those are just some of the main key ones that you should be asking your audience in order for you to find out what your ICP is. And then being pretty straightforward, the next step is building an offer that solves that ICP's main issue. So you've done market research, you understand what your ICP's main problems are, and then you build an offer, build a mentorship, a coaching program around solving the main issues for your ideal client profile. It's really that simple. But a lot of people miss out on that. They just skip straight over that. They build something that they think their ICP might want, not what they know they will actually want from the program. That's why asking questions like, what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? What do you think you as a coach, what do you think I could help you with specifically? Going really in depth in that regards with your market research will give you a really clear answer of what your ICP's main issues are and then how you as a coach or a content creator going into coaching can solve that for them. Next step is building for longevity, not just a quick cash grab. This is so important. It ties kind of into launches as a content creator. You might think you need a really big launch to launch a program or a coaching product, but realistically, it's more important for you to build something that's going to have longevity. So you don't want to just burn your audience in the first month, make a bunch of money, and then the next month you're making a quarter, if that, of what you you made the month prior, you want to set up a coaching program and launch it in a way that's going to be conducive for longevity, okay? Because obviously, not only do you want to continue making money month on month, but you also don't want to burn your audience and have a bad reputation, and you want to continue giving your audience and the people who've bought your mentorship products value month on month on month. So building your program for longevity is really important, and it's literally as simple as that. Just making sure that this isn't a cash grab for you, that you're actually committed long term to the people who are buying your coaching. These are just things that seem simple, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people who set up coaching programs forget that. Next up, we've got focusing on your students above everything else. So you should realistically have a business model that you do full time, that you're making majority of your money from. That's ideally how you'd want to structure any sort of. Next step is focus on your students above everything else. Within your coaching, you need to make sure that you're prioritizing getting your students results. You're making sure that they are getting the best possible results. Ideally, you should have someone who's in charge of sort of marketing this product, because I find that when coaches try and market the product, get good results for the students inside it, make sure everything's run smoothly while also running content for themselves and working on their actual business model outside of that, becomes a bit of an issue. And then there's a bit of a seesaw, what's being worked on today. And sometimes, unfortunately, honestly, most of the time, student results start to drop, right? Which is just not conducive to growth at all with that product or the coaching program. So ideally, you'd have someone marketing it, which would allow you to focus purely on just content, your other business model, and getting results for your students, okay? The emphasis for you as a coach or a content creator who's coaching should always be to get good student results for the people inside your program. It should never be to get more students inside, okay? You should always be getting the best possible results for your students, because what happens when you focus on getting the best possible results for the students inside your program is that you inevitably will get more people wanting to join, because you get more case studies, testimonials from people who you're getting good results for. You post those on your social media, and it attracts genuine other leads who would want to join, so you get more people that way. Next step is keep adding and providing new content. So it should never be a case within your coaching program or your mentorship that it's kind of stagnant. That should never be the case. You should always be adding new content, new testimonials, new information to your audience that's going to provide them more value month on month on month, instead of just kind of leaving it as is. Like, you should always be adding more video lessons. You should always be adding or bringing on new people for the Q&A sessions. You should always be even adding more Q&A sessions per week, right? So there should never be a case of just, okay, we've had the same program for multiple months now and nothing's changing. That should never be the case, because you want to keep it interesting and fun for the people inside your program. Finally, probably the most important thing is over-delivering with your product, your info product, okay? When people join an info product or a coaching program, mentorship, and they're pleasantly surprised by just how much extra stuff you've given them, that's what makes great testimonials in the long run, because they've already got such a great image of you in their head after they've bought it, and now they just get more and more information, more value from you than they thought they were initially getting. It's such a great feeling for them, and it works out perfectly for both parties, for you and for them. In terms of how you over-deliver, you can do things like giving an extra one-on-one call when someone joins, providing extra course content to someone when they joins, which actually wasn't specified on the offer document, essentially, and just giving more to your audience, to people who buy in, giving little extra bonuses when they join, or even after they've joined for quite some time. It doesn't seem like much, but it helps in such a big way, because these people who join your program, they understand that a lot of the coaching programs out there are kind of scams. So when yours isn't, and it actually works for them, they're so happy to give you testimonials, to give you case studies, to help this business of yours grow. So that is why you should sell courses in 2026 and what makes a good mentorship or coaching program. Remember, if you're wanting to start a coaching program or a mentorship in 2026, absolutely go ahead, but just make sure that you actually build it out well. And if you want help with building it out, help with running it, help with doing all the marketing, there's a link in the description to both my Instagram and to book a call in with myself and my business partner, just to see if you'd be potentially a good fit to work with, ask you a couple of questions, that sort of thing. So if you're interested in that, those links are in the description.